Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are again. I guess I just can't turn you loose. You better take a seat. Some of you might need a seat. I'm going to share with you something that I'm hoping that you're ready to receive. Something touched me this morning and brought me to this conclusion. And so let me share something that perhaps most of you have already thought about, but found some reason to just put it off. But here we go. We are here, human beings on this planet, according to the mission that I have been given. Now, every now and then people believe, or you pretend it as if you believed, that there's a higher power, and for some strange reason, maybe it's because of our history, we believe today that a messenger has been sent amongst the people who have received a message to give that message to the people in hopes of guiding them down a path more persistent of life rather than the destruction. In other words, put it mildly, right and wrong, good and evil, love and hate, the center of life. And that every individual here on this earth have the potential of choice. And your choice is you can choose either way and receive the benefits of the one you choose. And so we come into this world prepared. We've gone through the cycle of being born. The earth is here ready for us. What happens is that the world is ready for us too. We're ready to be prepared to make this choice. And I must say the most dominant preparation has been made by that which I consider, based on the choice that I have made and the reason I'm here today. They made that choice to go ahead on and represent something that leads to the destruction of life. And so the opposite is for life itself. So my purpose here for these 40 years is to remind you, even though you might already know or have never given it any thought, that there is a power superior to which we see like human beings. Whatever we've been trained about human beings, whatever we think about human beings, whatever it is, I want you to know we were taught that. But the reality of it is that all of us are really the same. We are expressions of the same. Regardless of what we see as being different, we are expressions of the same. But there is a superior power. That superior power is responsible for all that we, with our senses, are able to recognize. And that being here, speaking now for what is considered the righteous side, the side of love, we are following the path of the anti-love. I have to say that every time I speak to you, remind you. And that this is our choice. And you might ask yourself, well, why is it so complicated to make the other choice? Well, it's like this. When I was a child, I acted as a child. I know you've heard that before. Many times you've probably spoken it. But what does it mean when I was a child? I acted as a child. It basically means when I was ignorant, didn't know any better, I acted ignorant, didn't know any better, but I thought I was smart. I thought I knew everything, but I was ignorant and didn't know anything. So that puts you in a position to respond to basically when your parents say, this is how I want you to conduct yourselves in the world as you grow up. And you listen to it. But when you go out there, your peers That's the other voice. That's the voice that you see as the real voice. It's the normal voice. This is the voice that everybody follows. So it's the tradition. So you fall in line. You do what they do. You go to church like they go. You get a job like they do. You go to struggles like you do. You vote like they do. You, based upon what your education is, that's how you respond. See, that's being a child. Now, when you are an adult, that's when you say you've matured. That's when you've grown up. That's when you can tell your parents, hey, mama, daddy, I got this. And your mom and dad say, well, we love you, but if you ain't got it the way we got it, you got to get to stepping. And that's when they have made up their mind to get to stepping. Many times they run across a helpmate out there that come together because they think alike, act alike, and want to do alike. But that's that. But they step out there. They are mature now. So that's the same kind of conduct that is required when you are living in a system, following the dictates of a system that represents the opposite of love. Well, hate, ignorance, still out there acting a child. Well, that's back in the child end. They just put it there, but it is worse sometimes. But now, when you're telling your parents, that means you see the light. And with the light, you want to walk according to the light. And so you make the choice. You're going to step out in the light. So when you step out into the light, that means your strings between your parents' control outside of that which is really true, that line is broke. That means that the line of the system out there that's been dominating your way of life and how you conducted your way of life, now in its contradiction to the truth of life, it's severed. You don't follow that anymore. Not in an attack on that, but based as a representation of something that is better. You're an adult now. You don't act like a child following the world, following politics. You don't do that anymore. I mean, you don't understand what is going on. So you are now the new example. Now, what do I say? Why do I say these kinds of things to you, ladies and gentlemen? It is simply because this power that you cannot see is running everything. Yes, when we act a certain way, we do receive the fruits of our action. Yeah, the seed we plant determines the fruit we get, no doubt about it. But every now and then, something miraculous happens when it has to. But that power determines that. And so when we wake up, the things that we do is to set the example as it has been given to us. And in doing that, here is where the truth comes about, if you're real or not. You talk about tradition. You're talking about following the norm. Well, how real is that? Now comes the test of time when you are making a choice that puts you in opposition to the highest norm that you have known and understood and given your allegiance to. What are you able to do now? What are you willing to do? And what are you going to do? Well, let's focus on that side that is supposed to be enlightened. Because everything else, we understand that. But this is an enlightened side. This is what we're trying to see. Where are you really at? Here comes the storms of life. Here you are, finding yourself having to go against the crook, the thief who has stolen everything. And everything means that which is yours as well. That which is required now to go forward in life. How do you maneuver that? That's a heck of a struggle. Ask anybody. But it can happen. Why is it like that? It is like that because this is how far we've gone away from the truth. And this is how much mud stuff we got to dig through to find that diamond. This is how deep we got to go down in there, go down in the deepness of human sin to try to find that key that makes us free. Truth. So, you know, we have to go through some changes. Sometimes there's cave-ins. Sometimes a lot of stuff have to happen. Sometimes it takes generations and generations to dig through there. But if you're committed and determined, I want to tell you the big secret of it. This is the secret of digging, 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 if you're real. See, when you're real, everybody else is thinking if it doesn't happen like that, miraculously, that something must be about it. That's because of the depth of the indoctrination that you receive. You just can't see through that stuff. That means you ain't nowhere close to going that route. But you're observing. But the one that's digging knows that the reason that they're digging is because it's truth. And they know it's truth because of blessings that's coming to them. The others that are not onto that tune, onto that station, no way, I ain't going that route. But as they go to that route, they're tuned to the station that feeds them as they go all the way. And you can't see that. You don't even understand that. This is something that is the result of their actions that they benefit from, not you. You benefit from seeing what they're doing, the struggle that you got to go through by being blind. Knowing that if you, well, you don't know it now, but if you weren't so blind, they wouldn't have to dig so deep. They wouldn't have to dig so hard. But they do because you are. Now, this is the wall. This is the determining factor. You out there saying, I know this power that love. I believe in this. I'm with it. But yet this is going on. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't believe. No, that doesn't mean that you don't have faith. But it limits you. It limits your faith. See, the fact of it is that you are fed what you know to be true. What you know to be true, you are fed. Now, what I mean by know to be true, that's when belief is gone aside. Even if you never have ever experienced anything like that before, anything. If you come so committed to it that belief is just thrown aside. See, I'm kind of trying to skate through this and trying to feed it so everybody can get a little bit of it, but I figure I'm taking too long, so I'm going to see if I can just go and speed this thing up. See, the whole purpose of it is to get you to choose truly which way you're going to go. Are you going to go righteous or are you going to go unrighteous? Are you going to go for love or are you going to go for hate? There's no in between. You got to understand that there is no in between. Right now, everybody thinks there is an in between. When you think about the American political system, right now, the Democrats look at Donald Trump people and all those people that went along with Donald Trump as being completely as evil as they could possibly be. They do. Now, the people that are righteous, I mean truly righteous, they look at the people who are looking at Donald Trump. They look at those people the same way these people are looking at Donald Trump. You're just as contaminated. And you know how Donald Trump folks look at you. So look what kind of turmoil you're dealing with. But the ultimate thing, what is there to keep you there? Right there on the side of seeming like no committal is the changes you have to go through. You know, I told you about it. I told you. Let me just add this to it as I close. When you're in the womb, everything that is required for you to develop, mature in that world takes place. You're just there doing it. Benefit, you're just receiving it. Something is just bringing it to you. You're just receiving it. And you receive it. Then there comes a point in time when you got to leave that world. That could be a frightening moment because all of a sudden that which is coming, that's which you're so familiar with is about to change. You can feel the changes going through. You don't know what's going to happen. All of a sudden, something you understand that you got to go through something. And you realize how big you are. And then you look at a little hole. And you got to go through that. You know it's over. You just know it's over. But time and pressure is overwhelming. And you find yourself getting ready to emerge through a hole. And then there's this hole over there looking at this big old thing come, oh, It's like, oh, no way, no way. Can you imagine this hole that has been only big enough maybe for small things and whatever. And all of a sudden, it's looking, I thought, oh no, I can't, it just ain't gonna happen. But time and pressure say, it's gonna happen. And all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, what you do, you're a brand new world. And you got everything necessary to survive up to this point in this world. But even now, it's about support to take care of the other survival needs. Everybody. Resources are here. Needs are here. All you got to do. So, here it is, the choice. You can do it in this world. When you come out of that other world into this world, you can do it the righteous way. Or you can do it the way that has been promoted. Now, to what extent will the promoted world go to keep you on this side or to keep others fearful of trying what you're trying? Killing you. Killing you. You know, when Jesus walked on the water, Jesus on the cross, everybody, I'm just telling you, ladies and gentlemen, what's in my heart now. Everybody was talking, oh, look at him. Oh, my poor son, my poor boy. Oh, Lord. You know how that story goes. And Jesus up there saying, Father, forgive them, for they know not. Why is he saying that? Because of what he's going through. His heart is hurting because he knows what the people got to go through. He hasn't overcome that. He ain't going through nothing. Nailing them in his feet with some of the greatest joy, the hand, the greatest joy. I mean, it is nothing. Why? Because he has the protection of that which he represents, the love of God. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you how God works. God, y'all think y'all got God figured out? No, you ain't got God figured out yet. He protects you. Why do you think Meshach, those guys weren't worried about going through that fire furnace? Hey, they learned the lesson. The one that's able to put them here is able to keep them at all times. And as long as they are pleasing, even in their own hearts, that power which put them here, why should they worry? They ain't doing nothing but glorifying the God, glorifying that power, telling the world how wonderful that power is, telling the world how beautiful and how committed they are and how committed you must be to be free. Because what will they do to keep you in bondage? They will kill you. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, and so many others that we don't even know. But wars have been fought to break you down. Wars have been fought to put you under bondage. You fought back for defense, but not for what you call righteous sake, because you didn't even know what was truly righteous. You were just defending your way. But to know the truth, then everything changes. Everything changes now because you're under the protection of God, living in you to make the right decision, living in you to do the right things, glorifying. And that which is you are unable to do, then that's when the miracles will happen. That's when you can fly off a mountain with no parachute and fly. Oh, they might not see you fly because their understanding of life might not allow them to see you fly. But you fly in a dimension just like this. Just like Jesus walked on the water. Just like the miracles that have occurred in your life. You say, I don't use a miracle. And just like that miracle can occur, then the miracle of what you know has been impossible in your mindset is possible. Why? Because of the God of miracles. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just trying to say, make the choice for God. Because if you don't make the choice for God after everything we've seen over the past 5 years, if you don't make the choice for righteousness, if you don't make the choice for love, then that evilness is going to suck you down. It's going to suck you down. So don't allow it. Stand up today while you got a chance to breathe again, to leave a print. If you can't break through to find the dime, well, to even begin is a sign that you understand there's a diamond down there and you're on the road. And when you're on the move, can't nothing slow you down but yourself. And as long as you're being blessed, hey, The seeds you plant determines what you get. You all good. Till next time, this is Eddie Marcus say goodbye.